Okay, so good afternoon, Professor. Today we are going to do our self-evaluation or self-learning work. Paper representation by Holly and me, CJ. So this is the content. Paper introduction, paper problem context, problem description, the mathematical model, results, analysis, future work, and lastly, conclusion. So the paper that we had was the share a ride problem, people and parcels sharing taxis by okay, so the problem context. First, we have the urban logistic challenges, which were current systems, which were passengers and parcels use separate networks, which cause them inefficiencies. Taxis often run unutilized, 40 to 60% empty capacity. Also, the opportunity, which was shared taxis, reduce congestion, emissions, and cost. There was barriers, which passengers' comfort versus freight flexibility, dynamic routing complexity. So the research goals: can taxis serve both without compromising service? How to model and optimize such a system?
So the problem description in this paper we read that there is SARP or the share a right problem. It is extension from DARP, dial a right problem, by integrating parcels. Some constraints that is considered here is like the passenger is prioritized over parcel, and then there is no simultaneous passenger sharing, and the time windows for pickup and drop off. And then also there is FIP or the freight insertion problem, where it is a simplified SARP where the passenger routes are fixed and the parcel are inserted optimally. So for the mathematical model for the SARP, the objective function is the maximizing the profit from the passengers and the parcel, and minus the cost, which is the distance cost and the delays, or the extra time of the passenger while waiting. And some important constraints here that we think it is important is the capacity, which is the taxi lot cannot exceed the capacity, which is the 1% for the people and the next. The next constraint is the time windows, or the deadline for the pickup and or delivery. And also the last important constraint is the ride time limits, the passenger ride time limits, and it's to avoid excessive detours. And the complexity is the NP is hard, and it's solved using MILP for the small instances. And the next one is the mathematical model for the freight insertion problem. This is focused on the partial insertion. So like I mentioned before, the passenger routes are fixed, and then the parcels are inserted between the stops, and it reduces constraints and variables, and because it's more simpler, so the computation is more fast or faster. And then the key is here is the profit, the considered profit is the profit from the parcel delivery. And then the important part is the acceptance rate, how many parcels fit without violating the constraints.
So the results, the quantitative methods. So the spatial distribution tested. So SS is scattered, SC is scattered cluster, and SF is city line. So with that being used, the performance was the SF scenarios yield the highest profit, about 90% acceptance rate. Also, the extra delivery time was from 3 to 4 minutes, which was acceptable for passengers. So there were certain trade-offs. One was the profit versus acceptance rate. So more parcels led to lower acceptance. So the spatial distribution here, critically for more urban areas, more favorable. And also there was sensitivity. Profit most affected by cost per kilometer.
So for the future of this paper, Sumner mentioned is the algorithm improvement, like the heuristic for the larger SARP models or instances, and then like the multi-objective model, like including the environmental or social metrics, and then the dynamic policies, like weighting strategies for the better parcel bundling, and the last like future improvement is like the real world testing, where like you can implement this in with the like taxi companies. And our conclusion, so like for this paper can contribute to like the formalization of SARP or VIP models for integrated transport, and then demonstrating the profitability and the feasibility. And the impact is like, of course, it can reduce the pollution because like it use like less vehicles to deliver, because like they deliver it like together, the person and the parcel. And then also like it can create like a win-win situation for like taxis, company and the logistic firm. And further research can be implemented if like people is interested in this kind of like share right problem, and yeah, of course the real world implementation is very important. That's all for our presentation. Thank you very much.